Friends, this is John Seed of the Rainforest Information Centre. Volunteers from our organisation were part of helping create the Los Cedros Biological Reserve 30 years ago with the help of a grant from the Australian Government's Development Assistance Bureau. We've been involved in saving Los Cedros from multiple threats since then, including illegal loggers, poachers and land developers. As a result of the hard work of Jose Ducu and his allies, according to ecology professor Bitty Roy from the University of Oregon, Los Cedros is the best preserved forest in Western Ecuador. She is one of the many academics who have done extensive research on the biota of Western Ecuador and Los Cedros in particular. However, we're now facing the most serious threat so far. A corrupt and illegal agreement has handed Los Cedros over to the Canadian mining company Cornerstone Resources. 23 international scientists have written a letter celebrating the biological splendour which is at stake here. Their letter begins. On June 14, 2016, the Canadian mining company Cornerstone Capital Resources Incorporated entered into a joint exploration agreement with Ecuador's state mining company ENAMI. As part of this agreement, a large swathe of pristine choco cloud forest has been put into a mining concession. Much of this forest was previously protected, including most of Los Cedros and all the Cordillera de la Plata. Together, these include some of the last major unlogged watersheds in all of Western Ecuador, in one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth. Cloud forests like Los Cedros are becoming fewer and fewer. They are of the utmost importance to global climate and hydrological cycles. The impact of this decision goes far beyond Ecuador. A report by Earth Economics clearly demonstrates that the ecosystem services of the region far exceed the potential revenues of mining. While global conservation importance is obviously key, we must also stress the overwhelming support of the local communities for Los Cedros and the other protected forests and watershed reserves in the region. It's now June in 2020. And we've just heard the most exciting news. As you've seen, in 2017, Ecuador's Environment Agency handed out mining permits for a third of Ecuador's protected forests, including a permit for gold mining in the Los Cedros Reserve. Los Cedros turned to the courts to fight this mining permit and won, much to the mining company's horror. The government, coordinating with the mining companies, appealed the decision. In 2020, during the appeal, the Constitutional Court chose to hear this case in order to set a precedent for the rights of nature, based on the protection of legally titled protected forests. This could not only protect the 4,800 hectares of Los Cedros, but all of the other 186 protected forests in Ecuador, totalling 2.3 million hectares. Many of the protected forests that are now endangered had been under the loving care of indigenous peoples. As Ecuador was the first nation to include the rights of nature in its constitution, it could now become the first to actually protect such a huge swathe of biodiversity based upon this constitutional innovation, and hence set an invaluable precedent worldwide. This could be so huge not only for Ecuador's priceless rainforests, but for protected natural areas everywhere threatened by extractivism, that the mining companies will throw everything they've got into trying to prevent this precedent from being set. So we need your support. both financial support to cover the legal costs, but also to help spread the word so it becomes clear to everyone involved that the whole world is watching.